Good morning and welcome to This Week with Pastor Dino. I'm Dino and I'm so glad you are joining us here at First Presbyterian Church of Bradenton, where we are cultivating hearts for Jesus from the heart of downtown. It's been a great week here at the church, especially for our staff. We all got to move into our church offices, so we're back all together. It's been a real blessing to be able to do that. We also celebrated Michelle Noval's 13th year serving our church on staff, so thank you so much, Michelle, for your service. It's also been a wet week around here with torrential rain. Even Sunday was very gloomy and wet as Tropical Storm Sally is churned in the Gulf. But here we are ready to serve Jesus with the whole of our hearts. And I want to draw our attention this morning to the opening verses of the book of Psalms. This is Psalm 1, verses 1 through 3, and it serves as a great reminder of how we ought to be. Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. See, we're called to this blessed life in Christ. And even back to the book of Psalms, in Psalm 1, we're reminded of what it looks like to walk with Jesus and to reap of the great fruit that he has for this life. It's just like what we talked about on Sunday morning in worship, where there's a great harvest. The harvest is great, but the workers are few. And we are called to bring this good fruit from Jesus into the lives of others. Now, it's a calling, and it's not easy work per se, but each of us is called. And as we get into the season, as we get into the fall, as we start to see some of the changes in the coronavirus trajectory, keeping our fingers crossed, of course, and praying for that, just want to remind you all that we still have a job to do. And our job is to reflect the fruit of the Spirit, the fruit of Jesus Christ, the love and joy and the peace that he has for each one of us. And that's how we reap the great harvest that he has when we take up that mantle, when we choose to serve, and when we choose to love others in his name. So this week, whatever's going on for you, I just want to remind you that that is how we need to be, and that's how we need to act. Speaking of how we need to act and how we need to be in serving others, this morning our interview comes to us from Rob Moran, who for the first couple of years of his tenure as an elder was in charge of our community meals, formerly known as Koinonia. Our community meals. Rob Moran has been instrumental in keeping them going, and he's here to tell us a little bit more about that ministry today. Today, I'm honored to have one of our elders, Rob Moran, here in the studio. How are you doing, Rob?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you, Dino.
Awesome. I see that you have your mask in your hands.
Always. Social distance and stay safe.
That's right. That's right. So, Rob, you're heading up our new First Impressions team. Why don't you tell us a little bit about First Impressions at First Presbyterian Church?
Well, I believe so far that First Impressions is First Impressions. We want to make a good impression when you come in. Whether this is your first time or your 1,000th time coming to First Pres, we want you to feel special. We want you to feel welcome, and we hope that you will come back.
Absolutely. And this is a new team. We kind of combine some elements of membership and fellowship ministries to cobble this team together because it's a really strong part of our vision, but you have been instrumental in keeping our community meals going on Sundays. It's a ministry we used to call Koinonia. Can you tell us a little bit about our community meals?
Well, Koinonia, as you know, is what I have referred to it forever, is a form of fellowship. With the pandemic, we are now changing to community meals, which means that we are opening ourselves up to a mission, providing a meal, fairly nutritious, usually delicious, the third Sunday of every month. This month, Sunday, September 20th, will be our next attempt. Also, it's open to the community, welcoming the community, because there are many people, as you know, that need help
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely.
that's
Well,
where we are.
it's a cool part of our mission because obviously we're here in the downtown. There is a lot of need, and this pandemic has really kind of thrown off a lot of organizations in their attempts to help. So you guys have been able to adapt with the to-go meals and
Right.
maybe not congregating so much indoors, but the to-go meals that still provide that nourishment.
Correct.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about who you're working with this year in the community meals?
Brittany Dickerson is probably the main lead of the community meals. Tom Vorpol is also overseeing that particular aspect. So if you're at all interested or willing to help and like to be in the kitchen, we'd love to have you.
Now, Rob, I can assume that just because you named somebody, that doesn't make them more special than
Oh
others.
no, it's only because I'm old and my memory is foggy and at fault, and I can barely remember my own name or my wife's name some days. So, no, any of you are all welcome. Any name that starts with one of the 26 letters is welcome to come.
So, our next community meal is coming up on this Sunday, September 20th. And again, it's an awesome opportunity for us to serve and to enjoy serving and to really reflect the love of Christ in everything we do. So, Rob, I want to thank you so much for being a part of that. Can you give us the date one more time?
I believe it's Sunday, September 20th, after the second service.
And that's this Sunday.
It is.
Be there, be square.
You got it. And be fed.
Thank you so much, Rob.
You're welcome.
Isn't it great to see what we are capable of when we work together for the good of the Lord? If you are interested in serving that meal, which again is coming up this Sunday, right after worship at noon, if you're interested in serving, simply shoot us an email here at the office at firstpressbradenton.com, and we'll get you hooked up with the right people so that you can serve and be a part of this awesome ministry. Now, in addition to the community meal that will follow worship on Sunday, this week we've got a concert on Wednesday night featuring some of your favorite and my favorite hymns. On Thursday, there's a parenting Q&A pressure break with Larry. And on Sunday, we'll be back here for worship at 9 and 11. Again, live in-person worship and streaming both services online. Still working out the kinks for that, but keep sticking with us, live and online. And I'm going to be starting a new sermon series. This new series is called The Self-Disclosures of Jesus, The Call to Salvation. And it's going to deal with that topic. So please join us, again, in person or online. I'm so excited to be starting that up for you all. Remember, we all have an opportunity to delight in the Lord, to do what He calls us to do, to serve others and bring the joy and the love of the Lord into this world. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few, and so we have to take our calling very seriously. We have to delight in the Lord, and then we have to spread His love and joy out and His peace out to other people. To close today's show on a more serious and solemn note, last week we went through 9/11, September 11th, and I can't believe it's been 19 years since that momentous event. So to close today's show, we will have a moment of silence to remember and honor those who died.